the entertainment industry can be as ruthless as it is glamorous. Behind the glittering premieres and magazine covers lies a world of legal battles, broken promises, and unexpected twists that would make even the most dramatic K-dramas seem tame by comparison. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of South Korea's most beloved actors, and how a shocking contract dispute almost derailed his career. If you're fascinated by the behind-the-scenes stories of your favorite stars, you won't believe what happened when Kim Soo-Hyun was suddenly removed from a project he helped create. The industry insiders were certain his career had hit a devastating roadblock, until someone finally read the last page of his contract. Make sure you stay until the end, because this story has a twist nobody saw coming. Drop a like, hit subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you've ever suspected there was more to Kim Soo-Hyun's temporary disappearance from the spotlight than what the media reported. Kim Soo-Hyun, the golden boy of Korean entertainment, had been riding high since his breakthrough roles in Dream High and Moon Embracing the Sun. His performance in My Love from the Star had catapulted him into international stardom, making him one of the highest-paid actors in South Korea. After completing his mandatory military service in 2019, fans and industry insiders alike waited, with bated breath, for his next career move. Behind the scenes, Kim had been working on something special. Having spent years in front of the camera, he yearned to have more creative control. In early 2022, after the success of It's Okay to Not Be Okay and One Ordinary Day, Kim began developing an ambitious new series that would showcase not just his acting talents, but his vision as a producer. The project, tentatively titled Shadows of Seoul, was to be a gritty crime thriller set in the underbelly of South Korea's capital, exploring themes of class divide and redemption, topics Kim had become passionate about after witnessing inequality during his childhood in the modest neighborhood of Seongbuk-dong, far from the glamorous Gangnam district where he now owned property. Kim had assembled an impressive team, a celebrated screenwriter who had worked on some of Korea's most acclaimed dramas, a visionary director known for breathtaking cinematography, and a production company that had promised him unprecedented creative freedom. He had invested not just his reputation, but a significant portion of his personal fortune in the project. For 6 months, Kim worked tirelessly, attending every planning meeting, weighing in on casting decisions, even scouting locations himself, through the narrow alleys of Seoul where he once walked as a struggling actor. The series was more than just another role. It was the culmination of his artistic evolution from actor to creator. When a major streaming platform expressed interest in the project, offering an international distribution deal that would bring Shadows of Seoul to viewers worldwide, it seemed like Kim's dream was about to become reality. The contracts were drawn up, schedules were set, and pre-production began in earnest. Kim's fan base erupted with excitement when news of the project leaked to the press. But then, without warning, everything changed. On a rainy morning in Seoul, Kim arrived at the production office for what he thought would be a routine meeting about the shooting schedule. Instead, he was greeted by somber faces and uncomfortable silence. The executive producer, a man who had enthusiastically supported Kim's vision just days earlier, couldn't meet his eyes. "There's been a change of direction," the executive finally said. "The platform wants someone with more producing experience at the helm. They're concerned about the risk." Kim listened in stunned silence as it was explained that he would remain as the lead actor, but his role as producer was being eliminated. The creative control he had been promised, the very reason he had initiated the project, was being taken away. When he protested, citing the contract he had signed, the executive slid a document across the table. "It's all in the fine print," he said. "The platform has final say on production decisions." For Kim, who had grown up with a single mother struggling to make ends meet in their small apartment, who had fought against the odds to break into an industry that often favored connections over talent, this betrayal cut deep. The project that was supposed to mark his evolution as an artist was being taken from him. In the days that followed, Kim retreated to his penthouse in the Untold district, an exclusive neighborhood where many Korean celebrities reside. Messages from concerned friends went unanswered. Rumors began to circulate in the notoriously gossipy Korean entertainment industry. Some said Kim had been difficult to work with. Others claimed he had demanded too much money. The truth, that he was fighting for his creative vision, remained hidden behind closed doors and confidentiality clauses. His agency released a terse statement that Kim would be focusing on his acting responsibilities for the upcoming project, a diplomatic way of acknowledging his demotion without addressing the controversy. Fans noticed something was wrong when Kim, usually active and engaging on social media, went completely silent. What do you think of Kim's situation so far? Have you ever had your creative control taken away from something you poured your heart into? Let us know in the comments below. As pre-production on Shadows of Seoul continued without Kim's input, a different story was unfolding behind the scenes. Kim had not been idle during his public silence. Growing up with limited resources had taught him resilience and strategic thinking. While the entertainment world speculated about his state of mind, Kim was carefully reviewing every page of his contract with a team of top entertainment lawyers. The lawyers discovered something interesting. While the main contract did indeed give the platform significant control, there was an addendum that Kim and his original team had insisted on, a clause buried on the last page that had been overlooked in the rush to secure the international deal. The clause stated that any fundamental change to the production team required unanimous approval from the original creators, including Kim. It had been included as a safeguard against exactly the situation that had now arisen. More importantly, if the clause was violated, rights to the concept would revert to the original creator. Armed with this knowledge, Kim's lawyers prepared to fight back, but Kim himself hesitated. A legal battle would be public, messy, and potentially damaging to his career. The Korean entertainment industry valued harmony and respect. Open conflict could brand him as difficult, regardless of whether he was in the right. Meanwhile, the new production team was making changes to Kim's carefully crafted concept. The complex protagonist Kim had written, partly inspired by his own journey from outsider to insider in Korean society, was being simplified. The nuanced exploration of class divides was being watered down for international audiences. The Seoul that Kim knew, a city of stark contrasts and hidden depths, was being reimagined as a glossy backdrop for action sequences. For 2 weeks, Kim watched from the sidelines as his vision was dismantled. He threw himself into physical training for the role, channeling his frustration into grueling workouts at his private gym. Friends who visited his home in the exclusive 9-1 Hanam complex, where apartments sell for millions, and neighbors include K-pop idols and business tycoons, found him more determined than defeated. "They think I'm just another pretty face who got lucky," he told a close friend over soju one night, looking out at the Han River from his balcony. "They forgot how I got here." Indeed, many had forgotten Kim's journey. Before he became a household name, he had struggled for years, taking small roles in dramas and films, living in a shared apartment with other aspiring actors, and sending most of his earnings to his mother. His breakthrough had come through talent and perseverance, not connections or compromise. Now, at a crossroads in his career, Kim made a decision that would shock the industry. On what was scheduled to be the first day of filming, Kim didn't show up on set. The production team called his agency in a panic, but received no clear answer. Hours passed, and the expensive set stood idle, with crew members whispering among themselves about the star's absence. Finally, as the day's shoot was about to be canceled, Kim arrived, not alone, but accompanied by his lawyers and several executives from a rival streaming platform. Without a word to the bewildered director, he walked directly to the production office and closed the door. Inside, he laid out his position clearly: either restore his role as producer and honor his creative vision, or he would invoke the clause on the last page of the contract and take the entire project elsewhere. He had already secured backing from the rival platform, which was eager to work with one of Asia's biggest stars on his own terms. The meeting lasted for hours. Voices were raised. Phones rang constantly as executives from the original platform were consulted. By the time the door finally opened, the sun was setting over Seoul, casting long shadows through the production office windows, a visual echo of the project's title. The production team emerged first, faces tense but resigned. Then came the lawyers, exchanging business cards and handshakes. Finally, Kim stepped out, his expression unreadable until he met the anxious gaze of the cast and crew who had been waiting all day. Then, slowly, he smiled. That moment marked a turning point not just for Shadows of Seoul, but potentially for the Korean entertainment industry itself. In an industry where actors, even stars, typically deferred to producers and executives, Kim had taken a stand for creative integrity. Thank you so much for sticking with this story. I truly appreciate your time and attention, and believe me when I say the best part is still to come. In the weeks that followed the standoff, production on Shadows of Seoul was restructured. Kim was reinstated as producer, with full creative control as originally promised. The executive who had tried to sideline him was quietly transferred to another project. Most importantly, the original vision for the series, a nuanced exploration of Seoul's social contrasts through the lens of a crime thriller, was restored. The story might have ended there, with Kim's victory and the continuation of production. But what happened next transformed a behind-the-scenes industry dispute into something much more significant. Kim made an unprecedented decision to be transparent about the conflict. In a carefully worded statement on his social media accounts, he explained the situation, without naming individuals or companies, but making clear that he had fought for the integrity of the story he wanted to tell. He spoke about the importance of artists having a voice in how their work is presented, especially when that work reflects social realities that are often overlooked. The response was overwhelming. Messages of support flooded in, not just from fans, but from other actors and creatives who had faced similar situations but lacked the stature or leverage to fight back. Many shared their own stories of having their visions compromised, their authentic voices silenced for commercial considerations. Korean entertainment news outlets initially approached the story cautiously, wary of offending powerful production companies. But international media picked it up, praising Kim for his stand and examining the broader implications for creative rights in the global entertainment landscape. Eventually, even the Korean press had to acknowledge the significance of what Kim had done. When Shadows of Seoul finally premiered, a year after the contract dispute, it was to critical acclaim. The series was praised for its authentic portrayal of Seoul's social dynamics, its unflinching look at class disparities, and its complex characters. Scenes filmed in the working-class neighborhoods where Kim had grown up resonated with viewers who rarely saw their realities reflected in glossy Korean dramas. The series became a global phenomenon, winning international awards and generating discussions about social issues in South Korea. For Kim, it represented more than a career triumph. It was a vindication of his belief that authentic stories, honestly told, could find an audience without compromise. In interviews promoting the series, Kim spoke candidly about his fight for creative control. "I could have just taken the role and collected my paycheck," he said. "But this story mattered too much to me. It was about the Seoul I know, not just the glamorous city you see in tourist brochures, but the real city with all its contradictions and challenges." His stance inspired a new generation of Korean actors and filmmakers to demand more input into their projects. Slowly, the industry began to evolve, with more collaborative approaches to production becoming the norm rather than the exception. For Kim Soo-Hyun, the boy from Seongbuk-dong who became one of Korea's biggest stars, it was perhaps his most important role yet. Not a character on screen, but himself, standing up for artistic integrity and changing the industry that had made him famous. Conclusion. And there you have it. The remarkable story of how Kim Soo-Hyun nearly lost his passion project, only to transform an industry setback into a landmark moment for creative rights in Korean entertainment. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most important battles in an artist's career happen far from the spotlight, in conference rooms rather than on camera. Kim's journey from the modest neighborhoods of Seoul to the pinnacle of Korean entertainment, and his willingness to risk it all for creative integrity, offers a lesson that goes beyond the entertainment world. It speaks to the value of knowing your worth, understanding the fine print, and having the courage to stand up for your vision, even when it would be easier to compromise. What do you think about Kim's decision to fight for creative control? Would you have taken the same risk in his position? And how do you feel about artists taking more control over their work in the entertainment industry? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective on this fascinating story. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the business side of K-drama production, you'll definitely want to check out our video on how Crash Landing on You changed the way North Korea is portrayed in Korean entertainment. It's another eye-opening look at how the dramas we love come together behind the scenes. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more insider stories from the world of Korean entertainment, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time.